On the Wado Radio Show.
Of course, man, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music. It's ministry. And this is part 2 of my interview with No Big Deal. If you missed part 1, you can always go back and either download that from WadoRadio.com, or if you're in the mobile app or on the podcast feed, of course, you can just click the file and listen to part 1 of my interview with No Big Deal. But in this one, we get into his inspiration for some of the recent music he's put out, from Canopy and a new single, Shakira featuring Marty. Plus, where did he draw his music inspiration from? Really interesting. I got a few songs from Canopy and obviously also your new single that I wanted to talk to you about, man. So first, Shakira, bro. Why? Like, that song is amazing. So I don't want you to take what I'm about to say the wrong way. But
you're good, bro.
Of all the women, why Shakira?
Right. So,
well, I guess it did fit the Cinco de Mayo theme too, though. So I get that.
Yeah, it's the beat. Which, disclaimer, I know, like, I'm a cultured person. Like, I know Cinco de Mayo it's a holiday that is about Mexicans, not just all Hispanics. And I also know that the origin of Cinco de Mayo is pretty, like, American. It's not really, I I know all that, but I also know that, like, everybody likes to celebrate it. So that was kind of the thought behind that. And then, like, the beat just kind of, it's not like that it had to be specifically Shakira.
Yeah.
It just needed to be an illusion that would connect with people. And since the beat was already there, it's like, I think she's the second most successful Latina artist ever, before Gloria Estefan.
Yeah, you couldn't have called the song Gloria Estefan, no, bro.
Right. Yeah, Gloria Estefan's number one. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Gloria Estefan is too much. So, it was just as simple as that. It was like, we did when we made the hook in the studio, I couldn't even remember exactly what Shakira looked like. Like, when we actually were working on the artwork and trying to decide if we could get away with using her face on it. When I saw her, I was like, dang, she's like super light. Like, I thought she would be darker, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it wasn't, it's very little about actually Shakira and more about just an illusion that everybody could connect with, because the name, like, carries so much weight and all that.
Yep.
So that's how that hook came up.
How'd your wife feel about it?
Oh, she loves it. Well, she's the first, like, she has her hands in everything. Indie wife is what the fans call her affectionately.
Oh, I'm bugging out because I've seen her on Twitter before. I'm bugging.
Yeah, indie wife. So I had a show in Atlanta, and I played Video, like, which was the song I wrote about her on Canopy. And afterward, no lie, I think What Up RG started the chant because it was very out of nowhere. But after the song, like, the whole crowd was chanting Indie wife. So it was hilarious. But she has her hands in everything. Plus, like, my studio right now is, like, right next to our bedroom. So she hears everything before anybody does.
Sure.
And I'm blessed that she's, like, actually really involved with the music and loves the mission. But especially with a song like that, like, I'm going to her first. Like, right after I was in the studio with What Up RG just because, like, we're friends in real life. So he's like, we're always in each other's studios or whatever. And so once we cut that, she was the first one, like, hey, how do you feel about this? You know? And she was like, I love it. I think it's dope. So I was like, all right, cool. So, and then we sent it to Marty after that. So, she loves it. She loves it. And that was kind of the point, was to, like elevate elevate being like really really not proud in a bad sense, but just uplifting, upholding like your wife and her beauty and like your like love and appreciation and admiration and attraction to her, you know. And I think that's all biblical. That's why I think we see that in the Song of Solomon, and that's why I reference that. But yeah, I mean, I've had some backlash for the song, you know.
Really?
But that happens. Yeah, that happens with anything, man.
Sure.
But yeah, I've had some because they're like, some people can't see how it's glorifying to God or whatever. They feel like it sounds like a secular song, but again, like that mug is not even as graphic as Song of Solomon. Like, not even close. It's just actually not even close to graphic. And I think we just like, we're hypocritical in how we judge stuff like that. But there was so much care, even though it was really fun to create this song. There was so much care taken. Like,
sure.
What Up RG was in the studio. He's freestyling to it. He has a dope verse, but I'm like, bro, you can't be on it because you're not married. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, like conceptually, I don't really rock with it if it's a single person on the song.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And like, and which is even a testament to What Up RG. He was like, yeah, bet that makes sense, bro. Like, let's get and so that's why like Marty was who we reached out to. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, from that to, if you actually like look at my lyrics, like, it's all, you know, how the marriage is like the 3-chord bond, like walk with the 3, like Adidas, all that. Like, it's all throughout it. So, yeah, but it's actually, to be honest, there's been very little. I thought there was going to be like way more, like way more. But most people are just rocking with it and they get it right off the bat. So, yeah, I even sent it to. I sent it to like my pastors and the brothers I walk with here to kind of make sure I have checks and balances, you know. And they had some notes on it, and we did change a couple of things. But yeah, so.
Man, that's mad thorough, son. But it's funny, man. I always find it funny when people take positions like that on songs. Like, cause it like it's been like, I mean, We Can Be More show did. I mean, that song was like 7-8 years old now. Like it was the same thing when that record came out, you know. And yeah, there's been others. Stephen the Levite's had records, Lecrae's had records, and I'm just like, yo, like, what's the difference in you guys making a song and shooting a music video, basically bigging up your wife versus me making an Instagram post, bigging up my wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I can't rap. Like, if I could rap, I would probably make my version of Shakira, you know?
Simply put, man, hey, that's a good way. I hadn't even thought about it. That's super concise, though.
Yeah. Like, what's the difference? You know, what's the difference? Like, it's just a different form of art. Like, my Instagram posts is going to be on my Instagram feed unless I delete it, the same way that your song is going to be on YouTube and SoundCloud and, you know, Spotify and Apple Music until you, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's dope, man. It's a dope way to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Another song. Man, hey, I'm going to be 100 with you, bro. Like, I thought this song was going to be ginormous, and it was big, but I thought it was going to go viral, man. Purple Dinosaur.
Yeah. It may not be done, bro. It may, we may figure some things out for it, but I know what you mean. It still has like so much potential, you know.
Well, I mean, one, the song is great, but the video, bro, is so like I remember when you sent that to me, I was just like, yo, like, this is like next level, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
What inspired that, bro?
So a lot of times I let my creative process is like I get the beat and I kind of let that pull out concepts and lyrics from me. So there are a lot of rappers who like they'll have notebooks full of concepts and stuff or lyrics or not notebooks now, probably like on their phone or whatever. I try to just like live my life like and serve and love and live in community with people, and then when I get the beats, then I just let all that like come out, you know. So a lot of the feeling of the song was like inspired by the instrumental that Daniel Young sent me. Shout out Daniel Young. So, but once I got the beat and I was listening to it, I was like, man, this is just like a feel good beat. Like, it's got to be something that's like that just feels good and is like inclusive and like familial. Like, I just kind of get concepts like that coming into my head from the music. And so it just kind of took me back. I was like, man, when did I feel like that? When did I feel like the most just kind of like surrounded by love and everything was all good? And that was kind of like how my childhood was. And so that kind of took me back to like what I was exposed to as a child and all that. So that's kind of like how Barney came about, like that show. And after I made Purple Dinosaur, like I went back, that show was actually like super dope. Like it was very diverse. Like they had like black kids and in the early 90s, like black kids and Asian kids like in the main roles, and they had like I'm a kid in a wheelchair, like all kinds of stuff, bro. But yeah,
But you know what though? That show is probably one reason why, because that show was massive. Like that show was huge, bro. Like it's probably one reason why millennials are so inclusive of everybody.
Right.
Like it's not the only reason, but it's one reason. Yeah. Because of all that diversity.
Yep. Barney, Sesame Street, same way. Yep. Like all those shows, man. The 90s were crazy, bro. They definitely set up our minds differently. But yeah, so anyway, and I'm pretty sure I wrote, I had like just some random lyrics in the song written before I wrote the hook. And I wrote the hook and I was like, yeah, this feels good. And I showed the hook, like the really rough hook, to Derek. He was like, that's okay. He was like, you should do this and this and this. And I was like really proud of like the hook. And I was like, I left the studio like, no, I ain't changing nothing. And I didn't. I was like, no, I'm not changing nothing. I'm not doing nothing. But I don't know why I even said that. But anyway,
hilarious.
So laid the hook down, and then and so again, like I'm thinking about childhood. I'm thinking about that.
So the hook as it is now is your hook without Derek's changes.
Yeah. No, he wanted to add some more like his was like, I love you, you love me. That's a beautiful thing, yeah. Like it was very Derek Minor because like he can sing better than me, so he put like some more like runs at the end.
I got you.
Like he made it a little bit more soulful, but I was like, that's not me. Like unless you're gonna do it, like
I feel you.
Like, that's not me. You know what I mean? His was like very soulful, which was dope, but it just wasn't my like. It made sense for him and not for me. So anyway, I did the hook, and then the verses I was still in that mindset of like that familial like aspect, childhood, all that. So I started talking about, like I started the first two off with my mom, you know, and then just went from there. And then the video, I'm like very involved with all my videos. Like I feel like that's part of an expression of my artistry.
That was my next question, bro. Is like, like, cause bruh, it was a lot of like references to TV shows. I had to think for a minute, like, hold on, what show is that? Like, I haven't seen, you know what I mean? Like, it's dope.
Yeah. So, video is kind of the same way. I'm like very hands-on. I feel like it's just part of an expression of my artistry.
Sure.
But same way. It's just like the way concepts come to me are kind of a little left field. So I was just like, I want it to be bright. I usually bounce ideas off my wife. So I was like, I want the colors to be like these colors. I want it to be bright and sunny. And so we were like working with that. And I'm not even sure, it could have been her or me, but somebody said like recreating shows that kind of like gave that feeling, you know what I mean? And so then we just started running through all the shows that kind of had that feel good feeling. And then out of that list of shows, we had like 1 million. We picked the ones that would connect to the most people, we thought, because there were other ones that we wanted to do, but we wanted to make sure they were the shows that like were huge and connected with everyone. So like, you know, Fran, Fresh Prince, Brady Bunch, like they're so massive, you know. So yeah, that's how the video came about.
Yeah, that joint was dope. How long did it take you to shoot that?
It took us 2 days to shoot it, but that's because my wife is like crazy organized. So she had like, and she graduated with a degree in theater. So she had like to the minute, like the whole schedule, like planned out, like exactly what shots that the cameraman needed to get and everything like on this clipboard. It was like this amazing schedule. She was even out of town, but she gave me the clipboard and then I was able to like run it from that clipboard. And so it took like 4 hours each day. And then we had the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, because you had a lot of costume changes, I would think. I mean, multiples.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how you did the backgrounds, but different sets, all that, bro.
Yeah, it was really guerrilla style, which is like all our stuff. But we just, man, most of it was just logistics and planning. So like the Fresh Prince scene, like it's at this park. So we were at this park in Nashville. So the park has a basketball court, you know, it has a playground, but also has like a lot of just open areas. So we shot the basketball scene for Fresh Prince there. And then the part where they're like on the benches in Fresh Prince, we obviously shot on the benches, like on the court. And then the all that scene where we're like in slow motion, floating up in the air, just like the all that beginning. We did that like just off to the side in the park on this mini trampoline that we had brought. And then in the parking lot, we shot or on the road right next to it, we shot That 70s Show. We had to find a guy who had like a station wagon like that and paid him to come up there. So it was like back to back, you know what I mean? It was all in the same, most of it was in the same location. We just had to get the background right. And we just had to have like all the timing exactly right, which is where the schedule came in. So that like the guy with the station wagon was arriving right when we were done shooting all that scene or whatever, you know. So yeah, it was, most of the work was the planning and the execution was just like, you got to be fast and you got to be not scared to look silly in front of people.
Dang.
An interesting thing is like when we were doing the all that scene, NF walked up, like he was just in the park. Like he walked up and like
just randomly.
Like, well, Mowgli was there, and so Mowgli had saw him and like invited him over to come see what we were doing. But it was funny because it was like mad hot, like it was super hot, and we're all in like shorts and stuff, and NF was in exactly what you would expect him to be.
A hoodie, like, some ripped jeans, and some Timbs.
Like that, like the long shirt. Yeah, exactly. Like the long shirt. I don't think he had the hoodie on, but he had like that, you know, that shirt he wears, like that long, like shirt. And then the jeans, the ripped jeans, and the Timberlands on. He probably, you know, had the hoodie in the car or whatever. He
was waiting for it to cool down that day, right?
Yeah, It was hilarious, man. But yeah, so that was the video. It was very fun to shoot. Shout out J Lockhart Media. He's a big thing in Nashville now. So yeah.
Hey, so let me. I got two more songs I want to ask you about, man.
Okay.
The first is Treetops. What inspired that?
Treetops. So let's see, Treetops. That was actually one of the last songs to be recorded for the album.
Yeah.
I was like, again, this was like my debut, so I was like, I want to completely represent like the whole spectrum of my artistry. And I was like, man, there's not one on here where I'm like just rapping, like, and I need people to know that's part of, like, I love that, like, that's part of my artistry, that's part of my background, and I'll never stop doing that. And I don't have any song where I'm rapping, like no melody, just rapping. And so I was looking for a beat like that, and hooked up with Anthony Cruz, and he had that beat, bro, and he, like, nobody was, I think it was a beat sale. I think he put it on a beat sale, which means like nobody was buying that much. That's what it means. Like when they have beat sales, that means those are the beats that like nobody picked up. And I was like, this is crazy, man. Like, I guess nobody just knew how to handle it. Or what. Like, it's super minimalist.
Bro, it's so many records like that though. Like, it's not that the beat is bad. It's just an artist sometimes they can't readily hear that joint and know how to translate it into a record. Like, you know what I mean? Into a song.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's because it's super minimalistic, but it was like just the decisions he made were so crisp and amazing. So, I bought that from him, and the whole objective was just to rap, to show that part of my artistry. So I wrote it from the time I bought it to the time it was done was probably an hour, you know, just because, like I said, my creative process, usually I'm not like, okay, this is the concept I'm writing about. Usually the music kind of dictates it, or what I'm trying to accomplish does, and I pretty much just express myself in the freedom of knowing, like the Holy Spirit is in me, and I'm not gonna, like, I'm prayed up. I've been in the Word today. I'm not struggling with anything, so I'm not gonna do something that I'm not gonna say anything that's going to be evil or disrespect God. So I just work out of that freedom and just like kind of whatever comes to my head, I just write. And so that was Treetop.
That's real, bro. Suicide Nets.
Suicide Nets, probably one of the most dear songs to my heart. Suicide Nets.
I can see that.
God's using it to touch a lot of people's lives. Man, I'm getting hit up all the time about how he's using it. But so I lost 3 people in high school to suicide.
Wow.
Some of my best friends over time, like my friends growing up dealt with depression and self-harm. And I've had those dark times in my life also. I still hesitate to say like that I've gone through depression, even though I think the time periods, if I explained them, it would be pretty much depression. But I've seen how like intense it is for some of the people that I've grown up with, so it makes me be like, man, I don't even want to like belittle what they've gone through, you know?
Sure.
So that's always going to be a part of my artistry. That's always going to be something that I try to pour into and minister to however I can. And so on the album, you have Doors and you have Suicide Net. Those two kind of go together. Really, I wanted to name the songs just Doors and Nets, and I wanted like the suicide to be implied, but I was like, that's expecting too much of the listener. So right. I gotta, but yeah, so Doors, is about like the different, like kind of how it's like.
Yeah, but you know what though? You almost had the one, with the exception of Purple Dinosaur and well, I guess Treetops too, but you almost had the one syllable word for each song thing going too.
Right. Yeah, I did. Right. I think at one point I wanted them all to be one word, but yeah. So with the Doors is all about like how it's a gradual thing. Like it's not. Well, kind of like I haven't seen the whole series yet, but kind of like 13 Reasons Why. Like that's actually the exact same concept of Doors. So I probably need to get with them so they can give me a check. But
pretty much,
like on Doors, like if you listen to it, there's like multiple things that lead these people to that like lead them down a dark path of depression and like self-identity issues. And then basically at the end of it, they've got like two doors, you know? And the poetically, like the concept in my head was like they have like the suicide door, and then they have this door that leads to hope. And so that's why in the hook, you know, one door closes, another one opens. Which one leads to where the hope is? Because I might choose the wrong one. Like they can't really tell which one. And then suicide net is the answer to that. That's like that's the door. That what the suicide net is somebody like me or you going to that person and saying, "Let me show you which door it is that leads to hope."
Yo,
and then the.
Well, here's my thing, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not even just saying this because you know we doing this interview right now. But like my personal opinion, it's the best song to come out in Christian rap this year. Like, somebody's going to have to beat that song to me. Like now, that's the best song to come out this year.
Wow.
Are you considering doing a music video for it?
Yeah, we definitely want to. It's just the reason we haven't is because we want to do it right.
I got you. Yeah. Say no more, my brother.
We're usually able to do like guerrilla style stuff, like we said with Purple Dinosaur. But we were like, this one needs to be probably gonna have a budget and everything, you know, instead of just freestyling it. So that's a relationship between Doors and Suicide Nest, and that's what Suicide Nest was about. That person like saying like, follow me to the real door, and then like the first thing they say is Emmanuel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like God with us. Like that's so yeah, man.
Yep.
Very important song.
I you know, man, like I'm a little older than you, just a smidget. but like when I particularly like this newest batch of music that you've put out, it gave me the feeling that I had when I was growing up listening to A Tribe Called Quest. Just like
huge influence.
I was gonna ask you if they were influence, bro.
Huge influence. They're the reason that we're called Indie Tribe.
Okay, so I got it. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, I didn't want to assume, but okay, I got it.
Yeah, man. I love them, man. Like all the time, I'm like, man, I halfway wish I was born in the jazz rap era, because dog, that would have been my like.
You would have fit in, bro.
Like I could have.
Yeah, you'd have fit in.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been just. But I really do like where hip hop is right now with how broad it is. And,
sure.
How open the landscape is. But yeah, that jazz, I don't know why jazz rap died, bro. It was so dope. Tribe Called Quest, Native Tongue.
Well, I think, man, I think it was a couple things, man. I think it was the roots. I mean, you had the roots, and then it started evolving because it's like, okay, so this will tell you how old I am. Midnight Marauders came out when I was in 8th grade. So you had Midnight Marauders.
Okay.
You had Wu-Tang. And you had Biggie. Like, that was all 1 year, right?
Okay.
And all of them was having massive impacts. So Tribe, at that point, that was album number 3 for them. Wu-Tang was new, Biggie was new, and you still had Dr. Dre and Snoop, and you had Outkast, right?
Yeah.
So Tribe, to be honest with you, at that time, like no rapper was having 10 album runs back then. It was like once you got to 4 and 5, like you started tailing off. You know what I mean? So they put out Beats, Rhymes, and Life. That didn't really hit as hard. But then like the whole Raucous thing happened. Like Raucous, Def Jukes. So that kind of filled in a like I don't think Tribe was ever quote unquote underground, but it was like you had that whole thing happening, and you had Far Side, and you had the Roots, and so it's like they just kept evolving, and I think kind of slid into that space that Tribe had, but they wasn't sampling jazz records.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's kind of it. Just kind of like they wasn't sampling Roy Ayers and all of that stuff that like Tribe was.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah, man. That sound like, I don't know. It's really weird that it just like basically fell out of the mainstream for me. It was so fresh. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they're huge influence to me and my artistry.
How did you like how did you get into them though? Because I would think by the time you like really started getting into music, like they was done.
Yeah, they were, but so it goes back to my uncle. That's like him being like he loves hip hop too.
Salute to your uncle.
Yeah. Yeah, so him being into jazz and hip hop together, that's the people that he listened to. He introduced me to All Then. He introduced me to Reflection Eternal.
Wow. Like, so you got that then, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's where that, and he actually also he gave me after the music stopped. So like he also introduced me to Christian hip hop.
Dang, that's crazy.
He's like a huge force in my musical development. So and we still rock together. It's so crazy, man. He moved to Nashville because we all, like my whole family moved down here, and man, when you're in Nashville, like they don't really care how big a name you built for yourself in other genres. Not to say that the music is way more diverse in Nashville than people think, but once you come to Nashville, there's a ceiling for that other stuff, and it's like if you have the talent and you really want to like go to the next level, you have to play country. So like. And he can play anything, literally anything. It's crazy, but he had never done country, but like he came down here and anyway, long story short, he's like the drummer for Hank Williams Jr. now, which is insane. Like
that's crazy.
It doesn't even make sense. Like it's super crazy. But I told him that if God blesses me, I'm a poach him. I'm gonna take him from Hank. We played a couple shows together, a couple showcases and stuff. Cause he's just crazy, man. He takes the show to a whole different level. But yeah, I can't pay him what Hank's paying him right now. So
man, that's nuts though. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy story, bro.
Yeah, but that's how. Yeah, that explains all that. So
that's what's up, man. Well, listen, brother. We definitely, at least I could say as far as, me and my team, man, we've been digging what you've been doing for these past couple years, bro. And I'm glad Derek fired you, man. I didn't know it went down like that,
but me too, bro. Me too, man. Yeah, shout out to Derek, man. Just always in my corner, man. It's crazy, but yeah.
That's Derek, man. Derek's a good dude, bro. He's a good dude. Man.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, man. Well, yo, salute to you, brother. And okay. I do want to ask you this. Is Shakira going to be a part of another project, or is that just something you threw out, bro?
Right now, for the summer, I'm not working on a project. I'm just working on songs to kind of to kind of show everybody, like, because I like doing everything, and I feel like from listening to Canopy, you might not have known that I could do or that I would want to do a song like Shakira. So I'm kind of using this time to show different aspects of my artistry, and so I didn't really want to put that on a project because they won't necessarily like be cohesive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and I also wanted to be more collaborative. Like on Canopy, yeah, I have features, but I didn't really do features with like big names or the people that I could have done features with because I wanted it to really be like purely my artistry. So now I'm trying to do like all collabs, like just like one-on-one collabs though, like so that we can really, so that I can really work with like one other artist that I've wanted to work with or that people probably expected I would work with. But I did it on the album to keep it kind of pure. So now I'm gonna like do all that. So
yeah. Sure. Well, my brother, salute to you, man, and salute to the whole indie tribe, man. And you know, man, I feel like you know, your voice and what you guys are doing is important, man. I wish you nothing but success, homie.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you rocking with us so tough and so early too, man. Correcting me on the history of it. So I appreciate it, bro. Yeah.
Man, it's all good, brother. It's all good.
On the Wado Radio Show. On the Wado Radio. On the Wado Radio Show. Where it's much more than music, it's ministry.